It is decision day for the Supreme Court as the justices head into the final weeks of their term. We're still waiting to hear opinions on some of the most consequential cases on their docket. Several of the remaining cases could significantly affect President Trump's second-term agenda. Despite the High Court's conservative majority, it may deliver a mixed bag for the White House. CBS News legal contributor Rebecca Roiphe joins us now to break down some of the cases on the docket. Rebecca, good morning. Great to see you. One of the most anticipated cases involves the president's EO to end birthright citizenship. What are your expectations there?
Yeah, good morning, Errol. So that case is extremely important. Obviously, what's at issue there is whether the rule that we have normally accepted, which is anybody who is born on the United States soil as a citizen here, will change. And the question there is, the president has issued this executive order saying that the immigration status of the parents determines the citizenship of the child. I think we're all expecting the Supreme Court to say that that rule is not acceptable. There are questions about whether they will decide it is unconstitutional or merely contrary to a statute that says basically the same thing as the 14th Amendment.
There are also two cases that stem from President Trump firing the FTC commissioner and trying to fire a member of the Federal Reserve Board of Governors. How might rulings in those cases impact not just President Trump's powers, but presidential powers overall?
Right. These two cases are extremely consequential. The first one has to do with the Federal Trade Commission and whether or not an old Supreme Court case that allows Congress to create these independent agencies with sort of commission-like ruling structure are constitutional or not. And if the court, as I think is expected, suggests that they violate the separation of powers, this will give the president a lot more control over many different areas because there are a lot of agencies that, like the FTC, operate in this particular way. So he will, if the court rules in his favor, be able to exercise much more control over things like communications, labor, and other areas, security, that will give him a lot more political control than presidents have had. And then, as you say, this doesn't just affect him, it affects all presidential power going forward.
And we're also awaiting a decision on whether states can ban transgender athletes from playing in girls' sports. What are the potential outcomes on this one?
So, we've already had the court make a decision that firing somebody based on either their sexuality or their sexual identity as transgender is unconstitutional. But what's at issue here is whether or not the state can separate girls and boys' sports based on biological sex. And there are obviously a lot of states that have enacted laws like this. I think generally most people are expecting that the court will uphold these laws, but there's a huge question mark about how sweeping this decision will be. And that will impact whether or not states have to be more specific about these bans or whether the bans are upheld generally and they can designate sports based on the sex that somebody was assigned at birth.
Seems like it will be a consequential day either way. Rebecca Roiphe, thanks for being with us.